not just about, oh, the wedding day, but the process, the journey before you eventually get to that wedding day. And here are some of the wedding planning mindsets that you must have so that you get the best out of your wedding. The first thing you need to note, or the first mindset you need to have is that there is no fixed way to get married. I know we're in the age of social media where you're seeing different things and you're like, I want this one, I want that one. But understand that there is no fixed way to get married. There's no number of guests, there's no standard number of guests, there is no standard in anything actually, because you have to make that wedding yours. You're the one getting married, right? Not every other people, not all of those weddings you've seen on social media. No, you're the one getting married, and there's no fixed way, there's no right way to say, oh, I need to have 1,000 guests and that is like the right way to get married. No, so you have to think about, okay, work with that mindset. Your wedding is not a competition, so you're not competing with other people. I know in this part of the world you want to perfect day because you finally got married. Maybe there will be people not thinking that you're going to get married, but the truth of the matter is that your wedding is not a competition, because all of this mindset will play out in how you plan your wedding and the eventual outcome of your wedding. For example, if you feel like, oh, my wedding is a competition, I need to show the world that finally I'm able to get married, or finally I want to prove a point. You're going to prove a point to people that probably don't care, and then you don't get the best out of what you want. So at the end of the day, you're looking back at your wedding videos and you're like, what happened? Where is me? I'm not represented, I'm not duly represented in this wedding planning or in this wedding ceremony. So you need to understand that your wedding is not a competition, and there is no fixed way, there's no standard way to say, oh, your wedding has to be during the day, for example, or your wedding has to be during the night. There is no standard. You make experiences for yourself and for your partner. Another mindset you need to have is that your wedding, it's a partnership. So for a lot of brides, you feel like, oh, people generally ascribe certain decisions to the bride and say, oh, it's the bride that is getting married. Most of men feel like, oh, women are the ones, they're the ones that carry wedding on their head. But no, your wedding planning is actually a partnership. So it's a partnership between you and your partner. You guys are the ones getting married. So decisions should be, both of you should be involved. Maybe not equally involved, because sometimes you have some partners who are more inclined to wedding planning. I mean, we've had couples where, in fact, the groom was more involved in planning the wedding than the bride. So it's not fixed. There's no fixed thing to say, oh, it's only the bride that should be involved, or it's only the groom. But just ensure that both of you are on the same page in making decisions, because at the end of the day, you don't want a situation. And this even brings me to another point, that your wedding planning process is actually going to be a reflection of how your marriage is going to be. Sometimes you see that a marriage is a partnership, right? And when you're planning your wedding, there should be that involvement on the part of both partners to say, oh, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to achieve, this is the dream, or this is our plan, this is what would actually speak to us and say, this is our wedding. So carrying each other along in even decisions that feel like, oh, this is a minor decision, carrying each other along, being on the same page, or we can agree on this, we can disagree to agree, or agree to disagree, and things like that. Those things are necessary in planning your wedding. And you also need to work with that mindset that both of you coming together to get married, you guys are not the same. Yeah, sometimes people forget that. And when you have conflict arise, so maybe, for example, this person wants this. Maybe I'm not going to talk about guest size, because that guest size the guest size discussion can be like a whole lot, because there are a lot of factors to consider, and then you don't want to break the marriage before the marriage actually starts. But so maybe in terms of decor, for example, some people feel like, oh, we should be on the same page in terms of we should agree. So I want maybe a white themed wedding, I want florals, I want a lot of blush, I want white. I just want it to be like blush and white. And some people are like, no, I want a lot of colors. So maybe I want it to have a touch of blue, maybe sky blue and things like that. And then they're like conflict, and I'm wondering, some people think about the fact that I'm like, this one that we're not agreeing, we are not on the same page. Am I getting married to the right person? Of course, you shouldn't allow that kind of mindset. Understand that when you're planning a wedding, there will be conflicts. So there will be what this person wants, there will be what this other person wants. Then finding a way to either, maybe somebody says, you know what, maybe what I want is not that important to me. I feel like it's a nice to have, maybe not a must to have. And I can let it go for you to get what you've considered a must have. Or you know what, can we find a middle ground? All of those things, that mindset is necessary when you're planning your. Another mindset to have is, don't work with a fixed mindset. Not say, you know what, this is specific, this is the only thing I'm going to do. No, you have to be flexible in your thinking, because what you think that, and being flexible in your thinking is not necessarily a bad thing. Because sometimes you want a very creative wedding, or you want a wedding, an over the top wedding, right? And in your mind, what you have considered over the top is to a particular degree, but you need to still open up. You have to be open in your, be flexible rather in your thinking, such that when somebody else brings another idea that fits into your dream, you are able to accept and take that on board, or even consider it. So wedding, especially in this part of Nigeria, you know that you cannot work with a fixed mindset, because there's a lot of parental family involvement in the actual planning of your wedding. So please, so that you are not crying and like, oh, why am I ever getting married? Oh, these people are stressing me. You want to, as much as possible, understand that don't take wedding planning as that period that, oh, it's a stressful period. Of course, everybody says wedding planning is stressful, and that's why they typically recommend that you get a wedding planner. You hire the services of a wedding planner like Event People, and when you hire them, it's not necessarily that, oh, they're going to take all of that stress, because there are things that the wedding planner can take on board. There are things that the wedding planner cannot take on board. For example, the wedding planner cannot decide the number of guests that you should have at your wedding, right? The family, there's still family involvement, so one family saying this, one family saying that, and then that conversation generally has to happen at the level of the family, not with the involvement of the wedding planner, right? So sometimes those things can actually be very stressful. For you to reduce that amount of stress, the amount of stress you're dealing with, it's best to hire the services of a professional wedding planner. But also work with this mindset that, see, the wedding planning process, or this wedding planning period, is actually a testament to how much you've grown. So you'll be able to handle, you discover that, oh, there are certain challenges you're now able to handle better. And it's just like, wow, maybe some years back or some months back, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done it this way. So look at a wedding planning process. Don't work with the mindset that, oh, it's going to be stressful. But look at it to say, oh, this is a period to prove, or to prove to myself, not to every other person, but to prove to myself that, oh, this is how much I have grown, this is how much I am responsible to take certain decisions or to handle certain things. Just see it as a part of it's a growth process and one of those things, and I'm sure that you would enjoy your wedding planning process. So, I do sincerely apologize for the long break that we took, but we're back and we're better. If you're glad to see us back, just type in the comment section. Let me know what message have you worked with, what has helped you when you're planning your wedding, what are the things, what are the advice you will give to other people that are getting married. What should they work with? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell notification button so you get notified every time we post a new video. And I promise that this video will drop every Friday, so you get new updates every Friday, new videos every Friday, new content every Friday. So hit the subscription button. Let us know what you think. If you have questions, please be sure to send in your questions. We're more than happy to answer your questions, wedding related questions. Maybe you need a consultation, just let us know. You could also send us an email. Our details are in the description box. So yeah, it's good to see you again, or it's good to connect with you again after so long a break. And thank you for being consistent. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another episode. Bye.